Hey everyone, welcome back to the Five. Today we have some guests with us this evening, but before we get into the guests, let's do some housekeeping. So I'm asking everyone tonight to remember to either like or dislike, leave your comments, your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, do not forget to hit that notification bell so that every time a series is uploaded, you will be notified and in the loop. So, hi everyone.
Hello.
Doing
Hello.
this evening.
Hello.
Hey, so let's start with our first guest. I'm going to allow the guests to introduce themselves before we get into the juicy part. So tell us about yourself.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Roshan Davis. Go by Sean. A lot of people call me S, as you see, that we heard. A lot of people call me S. I am a 16-year veteran firefighter. I'm also I do a lot of work in the community. Um, that's where a lot of people know me from. Um, so to go into that, I'm the co-founder of the 1,000 Man March in Patterson. I am the founder of 100 Professional Black Men. I'm the director of the Bronze Heat, which is the Patterson chapter of the International Association of Black Professional Firefighters. I'm the founder of Fathers for Fathers, which is an organization in Patterson which teaches fathers their place, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the family court system. I'm the founder of the Davis Foundation. I'm the vice president of the Juneteenth Committee, and I'm the co-host of Candid Conversations, which is a podcast, um, which was started by Kyra Davis Ward, which I am a co-host of. So that's my spiel.
And you're sticking to it.
Interesting.
All right, Mr. Wilkes, introduce yourself to our community.
I don't have anything going on. My brother got 13 jobs. Um,
Jesus.
I'm Damon. I'm I'm Damon. I'm a pastor, a worship leader, a national recording gospel artist, a Billboard charting artist, and a business owner as a life insurance broker. And I am I'm signed to Molecule Music Group as an artist, and I'm a father and a husband, and I'm a son and a brother
And
and
the
the uncle
pain.
and the pain. No,
Welcome.
welcome. Yeah, I don't have all them jobs though. What do I do, Spur? I know how to fish and
You know.
dance.
Did you say dance?
You know I'm Dance Fever. Don't play with me. You already know my nickname was Fever back in the day because dance moves were so good. Dance Fever. Yeah.
Well, we're
And
going
the
to leave
fashion
that part alone.
For
and the
And just,
fashion.
sure.
I dress up real fashionable. All my outfits.
We're gonna leave all that ending alone.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even touching that last part. I'm just not. But nevertheless, welcome, fellas. Welcome to
Thank you.
our group. So we have a series of questions here. We're not here to hurt you,
Mm.
but we know that men in general, especially Black men, they don't get the props or that that push sometimes that they deserve, right? They don't have a voice sometimes, and this is a place for, it's not just for women, even though it's hosted by women, it's a place for everyone. And so this is why we're starting this this series. It's called Men's Vantage Point, And we're so happy to have you here today as our first guest.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, now let's get
Okay.
started. Okay. So when it comes to faith, how does that help you in life, this crazy world that we're living in today?
Who you want to me?
Anyone,
both?
either one of you can just answer.
For me, faith helps me uh navigate. Faith helps me to remain patient while I figure out what God, while I wait for God to do whatever He's doing. It's like God didn't promise me millions, and He didn't promise me financial stability. Like a lot of things we have permission. Sorry, a lot of things we have permission to have. Right, there are a lot of things that we have permission to work. We have permission to go to work. We have permission to get a job. We have permission to eat. We have permission to do these things, but He never told you how well it's going to turn out, right? He didn't tell you if you're going to be the CEO. I mean, some people He does, but like He don't necessarily. It's not like you don't. It doesn't have to be that way. And faith kind of helps me to be okay while I wait to figure out while I wait on what is going to happen. That's number one. It keeps you focused and keeps me focused to help to remember who I am, what I am supposed to be. When I do want to walk in my flesh and like bug out, like nah, my faith is like, now you know better. Like don't play, like don't play around. Like you already know what you know. Come on, man. This kind of Jordan keeps me mindful that of purpose, and it gives me strength to like bear burdens. Helps you stay. It keeps you joyful. Faith does keep you joyful because um, without faith, what are you being happy? Like where's your joy coming from?
Yeah.
Right. So for me, my faith does all of that, and um, it keeps me saved.
David.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Amen to
So
that.
for me, it does all that. Helps me raise my kids, all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and not worry about the kids. The kids is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because like my sons are 16 and 14, and it's like they're at a different age. And when I see what they encounter, and I see how I could have done things a better way, my faith reminds me that God is still in control of tomorrow. So it's
Amen.
like, yeah, all of that.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
I can appreciate that. And just going into faith, as a man, just having discipline to stay focused, stay on path, understand what my journey really is. Um, I have children, and I'm already in a statistic because, like I spoke to the young women, like I'm not married, so I'm a father out of the household. So it's even a bit harder because I don't get um, that direct um, that direct influence on my children. I mean, so I have to stay focused on that. I have to stay like when I have them, I have to always not saying that, there's situations that take them away from progression and what they should be doing, but me dealing with discipline, me dealing with what's right, your moral compass, all of those different things. Um, it just keeps me to a point to where it's like I have to stay 10 toes down. I have to. Not just with my children, but with the community, the village. But sometimes, uh, we get so uh, crushed by what's going on in our lives that we forget about, the village. When we from my age bracket, when we came up, we had a lot of other um other people in the village that will actually, I ain't gonna say interfere, but will add on to, what we need to do as a culture, as a
Yeah.
village. I remember when you would do wrong in school, like your teachers would snatch you up, and instead of
Mm.
the people, the young parents coming to school finding out what happened, they now they would fight with the teachers,
Yeah.
Right.
versus listening to what's going on
Mhm.
and addressing things the right way. So me dealing with my moral compass, where I came from, what I've learned, what I got from my village, and the faith that I have, it keeps me focused and grounded on what actually, I can instill in my children. And being on the outside of the household, um, that's why I say a lot of people don't understand how that really, I'm trying to find the right words. I don't want to send the wrong message. But when you're a non-residential parent, it's not the same as when you're a residential parent and you have
Agreed. Agreed.
100% interaction with your children every day, all day. So you
Mhm.
have to hope, you have to have faith, you have to have that in you,
Yeah.
um, to just believe that
Yeah.
everything is just going to go the right way, because you
Yeah.
don't have, your hands on your children. So it's a
Right.
little different for me because I'm a non-residential parent.
Same here, man. My two of the sons are from a previous marriage, so I just dealt with. I was telling some brothers of mine that I just like some guys I know that are in the process of like trying to go through divorce, and I was like, bruh, you don't have no clue what you like. The devil don't always tell you what's on the other side. Like he don't
Yeah,
tell you like how it's going to be. Like not that you can't be okay, but you have to know what you're getting into because you're now going to be and that's going to be a part of your new life once you cross that threshold. My sons
yes,
are again 16 and 14, and I'm starting to see like, oh shoot, like I can't, because I'm working. I'm remarried. I have a family here, and granted, I see my sons. I talk to them every day. Like I speak to my sons every day. My youngest son, 14, is in my basement right now. My oldest 16-year-old, he's home because he's old enough to not want to come to dad's house. Like he don't have to come to dad. Like I got a great relationship with him. You know, I take him to I take him to basketball training and all that other stuff. But still, like I don't. It's like you watching from the outside in. You got to pray from the outside. You got to use discernment
yeah,
from the outside. I call
yes,
my younger son 7:30 in the morning. Let's have prayer, whatever, because I'm like, that's like Job said that. The Bible said that Job sacrificed daily, lest what he feared the most come upon him. He said he sacrificed every day, lest in case his sons committed a sin against God. I find myself in the same position, like praying, like, okay, God, like help me to know what's going on, like help me to pick up beforehand where they are mentally,
Yeah.
spiritually, because when you're not in the house, you don't know what they're encountering. When you're in the house, it's
yes,
hard. It's hard enough in the house, not knowing. But when you're out the house, and as a father, um, I went so many years like financially struggling, like just not having anything. Like and I've known y'all for like years, and then the last 6 years, God has kind of re re he's kind of revamped my life.
Mhm.
But I saw about 8 months ago, almost a year ago, God began to deal with me, and things slowed down to like it came to a halt. And a lot of things happened work wise. but I was grateful because I was able to I asked God I said I realized that I exchanged my time for money. Like you can it's like you can it's like you have the ability to eat from this great big tree because you're and when it comes to you can make your stomach as big as you want, but do you need your stomach to be that big, right? So you can work as much as you want to work to get whatever you want to get, but you're giving up something.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, God, I need to I'm glad you slowed me down at this point so I
Yeah.
can like go pick the pieces up. And granted, I was never absent, but it's just you're not paying attention as you should because you're trying to provide. And it's like, nah. So it's like finding that balance. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying with that. My oldest son had a girlfriend. Excuse me. He had a girlfriend. Or some little girl. He had a little girl. Got out of church one day, like, Dad, you take me to my friend's house. I'm like, cool, no problem. Take you to your friend's house. And I'm thinking it's like a dude. He wanted to go home and change his clothes. I'm like, change the clothes? Like, what you doing? Come out the house. I'm like, what you got cologne on? Yeah, Dad. Um, okay, it's a girl. She wanted her parents want to meet you. I'm like, want to meet me? Like, all right. I'm like, who the girl? Like, what's going on? Like what's up? Like, what's up? Like, who the girl I'm talking to? Get to the
That's a
girl
shock.
house. I get to the girl. We get to the girl house, and I'm like, oh shoot, you got a persuasion system. You same color as us, different persuasion. My DJ is like 5'11". Like I'm sure he big. The girl is little. I'm like, darn, dude. So I shake the parents' hand and God, Lord, what no, Lord, where, like, Lord, where am I at? That, you know what I'm saying? Like that, my son, and I'm like, God, help keep him safe. And I'm talking to him. And I'm like, man, I told him, I said, listen, man, I apologize that I'm not the father I want to be to you. I'm here in your life, but you don't even know how close I'm supposed to be. And that's kind of, I feel your pain. I feel with your sentiments with that, being an outside parent. So I get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're something, a lot of times your faith, your hope, your morals, values, and your principles is all you have because you
Yeah.
don't have, eyesight and hands on your children. They're out of sight. So you can only hope for the best and hope
Yeah.
that,
Definitely.
yeah, and hope that everything that you instilled in your children, that they,
Hmm.
they move that forward.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good, guys. It's
Mhm.
being a father is important, and it's sad that not a lot of people, not a lot of fathers realize how important their roles are.
Yeah.
That's sad. Um, so the next question is, knowing the stigmas regarding Black men and mental health, what are your thoughts on that?
What are the stigmas?
Well, first of all, not just Black men, but the fact that we're taught, or, when you're in church, that everything we just pray about it.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. They don't promote the fact that God created physicians, and it's okay to go talk to someone, about your issues. It's okay to take this pill, you know, if you have this type of, if you have depression, if you have anxiety, we're turned the opposite direction than our other counterparts, especially, and Black women are just getting into it, and breaking through that. But how do you feel when it comes to, as it pertains to Black men and the stigmas about mental health?
That's
Um,
important. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I know that the gentleman took the last one, so I'll try to balance the form. Um, as far as mental health is concerned, I think that we need to destigmatize that in our community. Bottom line, um, that it's not a thing of you're lesser than,
Yeah.
or you're you're not up to par if you need um, some type of counsel. That's why, like me going through the court system, they changed that word dynamic to therapeutic visitations. It was no longer called counseling. It was called therapeutic visitations. Just hearing it, you wouldn't get stigmatized by it.
Right.
The one thing that I do know is, as far as Black men in our community, and I always say this on our podcast that as far as men in our community, Black men, as far as the CDC stated, that Black men in America is the new face of fatherhood. Black men spend the most time with their children, spend the most time doing homework and visitations and sports and all of these different things. Now, not just to say that visitation is a good thing, but healthy visitation, healthy interactions, being able to see your mother and your dad in a healthy environment. You don't have to be in a marriage but marriage within our community gives the best opportunity for the children. That's just the statistics. It's not my thought process or my wordings. That's the stats that a two-parent household is the best environment for our children. That's just the numbers. But if you're not going to be in a two-parent household, you have to have a healthy balance of non-residential parent versus, with residential parent. And I always say to a lot of people that I counsel, every breakup doesn't have to be negative. You can agree to disagree, understand that it wasn't for you, and you have to come together and do the right thing for the betterment of the child.
Yeah.
And we get away from what that statement actually means, the betterment of the child.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we get selfish. Why I gotta pay so much child support? Why this and why that? It ain't about you. It ain't about money all the time. It ain't about who's right. It ain't about who's wrong. It's about what's best for the child. So us as adults going into, because I've been in therapeutic, like I said, I've been in therapeutic counseling and stuff like that. And the one thing that they would say to you is the best environment for the child is to be with the biological parents. That's the best. Whatever second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth, that's what it is. Whether it's the grandmother, the grandfather, the step parent, or whatever it is. Because I'm not gonna say like there's an ownership, but there's a responsibility that those parents have, and the children reflects that to the children.
Absolutely.
Like that's my mom, that's my dad. So they have a sense of, this is our family unit. And I've seen that in my children. No matter what me and my children's mom go through or went through, my children, no matter what, that's my dad. Like my little girl, she'll tell you right now, that's my dad. I love my dad. When you get somebody that comes in and maybe they're a step parent or whatever, it's a learning process. It's a process of where you have to become a unit versus this is my child. I mean, so if you have a healthy environment, that helps with doing away with the stigma. because I believe we all need some type of therapy.
Come
I
on now.
believe, I think we all need some type of counseling. It don't have to be to the lengths of you just screwed up.
Yeah.
It may just be some
Facts.
things that you need to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You know,
a
some
vent.
and the stigma with it, it's a negative thing, which it shouldn't always be a negative thing. It should be because we counsel our friends all the time.
All the time.
You know, we counsel our coworkers. Hey, what you think about this? That's counsel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, this happened. Give me your opinion on this. That's counsel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to get a professional opinion, just because you're sitting in an office, shouldn't stigmatize it. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a more grounded or more intense professional advice or opinion that will lead you, even if it's with your pastor, you know, even if it's with, you know, the congregation that you're with. But we really need to destigmatize that thought process of counseling,
Amen.
therapeutic visits, because that's what we called it,
Therapy.
therapeutic visits.
Mhm.
Um, where we shouldn't have to rename it, but I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I
Mhm.
get it. Let's just go with it. If
Go
it's
with
going
it.
to if it's
Mhm.
going to be for the betterment of your
Mhm.
situation, your children, your life, um, let's just go with it.
Absolutely.
Yes. And do what's best for you and your family. If you're one that sit there and believe that you're just perfect, you got it all figured out,
Kudos to
you don't need no counseling, I think you're the one that need the counseling the most.
Absolutely.
you. Facts.
You need
Absolutely.
counseling the most. Because the world is an evolving place. I'm a
Mhm.
firefighter. You know, the fire service constantly evolve. So if I sat in the firehouse and said, I don't need no more training, I'm good. But they constantly coming out with new material. They constantly coming out with new ways of building houses.
Technology.
No, I need that training. Just the
Mhm.
same as I need training in the world. I need
Absolutely.
training, you know, with my children. I came up in a time where we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't have all of these things. So, you
We
know,
didn't have a phone.
I was going to say the same thing. We
you
have a
know what I
cell phone.
mean? So you have children that's being bullied through a conduit that we wasn't even dealing with bullying,
Yeah.
where they can send bully tactics through a phone.
Yeah.
When I was younger, if you was to bully somebody, you got to pull up.
Pull up. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
What up?
Yeah.
What's going on? You got a problem with me? Nah, I ain't got no problem with you because now because you're dealing with some reality now. You got to see
Mhm.
somebody, you got to feel somebody, you got to touch somebody. You know, so
Mhm.
now our children is dealing with a lot of things that we've never dealt with.
Mm-mm.
So how are we going to properly vet these things, understand these things, if we don't seek some type of further knowledge and wisdom and understanding? Because a lot of our children is going through a lot
A
that we
lot.
don't even really understand
Absolutely. No clue
because we
about.
never dealt with it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Scary.
Absolutely.
That's why we need to pull up the therapy.
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree. And destigmatize it. It's not, therapy is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
Not a bad thing. You'll be surprised once you sit on that couch or you sit across that table, and when you
What you
start to
release.
unload everything off your chest, how
Hmm.
light you feel.
Mhm.
Yes.
You know, you start to feel light, and it's like, oh, and then now your thought process is starting to become a whole
Mhm.
lot more broader. Like a lot of people don't
Clearer.
understand it because
Absolutely.
like you said, we stigmatized it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
So
sad.
true.
I mean, I totally agree with that statement about everyone needs therapy. I mean, and in reality, it's just someone to talk to, someone with a different lens that, it's not going to be your family that coddles you. or won't tell you the absolute truth. So you need that outside unit just to, give you the medicine without that chaser.
Yeah. And I tell you what you want to hear versus what you need to hear.
What you need to
Exactly.
hear.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
'Cause you
Exactly.
get a lot of that. And you have to
Definitely.
be honest too. You have to be honest and put everything on the line. You have to tell
Mhm.
everything, that's on your chest, because if you truly want the right therapeutic conversation, you have to be honest and transparent about it.
Yep.
Unpack
Because if you're not,
everything.
you're not going to get the help that you really need.
Nope.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
true.
Absolutely. So with counseling, um, we're going to step into the lane of divorce, right? So, Dame, you've been married and divorced. How was the process of divorce for you, um, through the eyes of a man? Because we always hear, it's rough. You see on TV where the women only talk about it. It's always the women talking about divorce and how, if it was a pleasant divorce, if it was a rough divorce. But how was it? How was it for you as a man?
It was man. Well, that's a loaded question as a man,
Uh-huh. Hmm.
but as a man as from as a man that comes from my background, devastating,
Yeah.
terrible.
Hmm.
The worst thing I've ever experienced in my life outside of my father's death, because it was because when you were in church, that's what you go get married. That's what you do.
Hmm.
You go get married, and you make it right. You do the right thing. You do these other things. You find a wife. You have children, and you don't like. These are the things that you're taught to do, and then it doesn't work, and now you have to get unmarried. Well, you don't have to, but you decide to get unmarried. You decide to get to and you don't know who you married. You don't know the angry, furious, heartbroken. You have no control over their process of emotions. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any control of any of that.
Yeah.
And the devil never tells you what's on the other side of your fight, right? So, um, yeah, it was crazy because you have children. Like it was for me. I like it. Again, it was yeah, and you have children involved. It took a long time to get to a place of to be healed, right? And um, for me, it was difficult because of the uh, I don't know what it is to be a white person go through divorce because I don't know if they play with their kids, but like on a black person side, like they got kids involved. You can't see like you got to go through all of the kid stuff, and that's what made it gut wrenching. If it wasn't because it's like you got something you can hurt me with now, but you think I'm hurting you intentionally. There's just so many layers to it, but it's after since it's been over and I'm remarried now, I learned that I didn't have to do that because at the end of the day, you need patience to live in life, and everybody has to learn to grow within their that's their space in life, right? Um, so and I had to go through therapy and all that other stuff to kind of get my head right. But even to realize that like again it's crazy. Like it's not the yeah you have it's because you're breaking promise. It's a lot of it's divorce. Like it's not gonna be fun, and it's not something that you just want to up and do. You want to up and do it like 'cause you mad because no
Yeah.
that ain't you don't know how that you don't know how your life is going to turn out. But I thank God that I had a chance to be married. I'm cool. It's the process of learning and development, the growth and all that stuff. But yeah, like it took me I got divorced in 2010. It took me 7 years to like get my head together. I'm dead serious. It took 7 years
Mhm.
to like, and this is with prayer.
Yeah.
With prayer. Like with, and it wasn't like because I wanted the person back. It's because it's just not the same for everybody. Because of, if I was from a broken home already, it wouldn't have been that bad, right? If I was from a background that wasn't religious, it wouldn't have been that bad. I was from the background, but when you come from wherever place the place I came from, it was it was our household was like, well, mama, I got Bishop Shirley and my mom, like they is a that's a whole different layer of, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, Lord.
It's a whole different layer of stuff you dealing with. So yeah, but I'm cool though. I'm grateful for the lessons I learned.
Good. So was there anything unexpected that you learned about yourself, either during or after?
Yeah. I was ill prepared for marriage
Mm.
at all. Clueless. Was ill prepared for manhood. Clueless. I was ill prepared to be an emotional supporter. As a husband, you were an emotional supporter. You were a
Mhm.
mental supporter. You were a spiritual supporter. You were an establisher. You were a
Everything.
builder. You're a
Mhm.
builder. You have to know how to, you you're a planter. You're a gardener. Like all these things, and I didn't know what I needed, what I wanted, uh, what was like what to expect. Like, you don't. These are things you don't know, you know, and because most men today, I'll say my generation, I'm 45. Most of us don't know how to have a good relationship because you figure, you are so used to you get married to get what you want. And it's not about what you want. It's about what the person, which you are supposed to be to this individual,
Yeah.
not.
I got a question to,
Go
to
ahead, bro.
you. I don't want to take away from the
Go ahead.
questions of, but man to man, um, because we have this issue in our community as far as our young men. I hear a lot of young men saying that they're straying away from marriage, um, because for one thing that you said, they don't know what that truly means and what they actually lose as far as everything that they work to get. I work with a lot of young men that that's on a road to progression, to making, a nice amount of money, that's trying to build their life to be progressive. Um, but at the same time, they don't come from households that, that was cultivated in marriage and in the church and things like that. So they don't have that thought process. So all they're thinking about is the money aspect. They're thinking about what would they lose, um, as far as the relationships are involved and what our community needs, because um, what the next generation is going to look like. What is it going to look like if this generation goes into just being about finances and careers and not about family? What is the next generation going to look like? So
Yeah.
as men, because I'm trying to put together programs to where it's teaching kids trades and it's teaching kids decision making, conflict resolution, um, moral compass, all of those different things, um, to try to reset, reset the mind to where we really need to go as men. What do you think that we could do as far as men to reset this thing to get us back to? Because at one time in our history, we were 80% married. Now we're at 26%.
Mm.
Right. So us being at 26%, seeing the destruction that has created through a course of 50 years, we need to double back
Yeah.
to, the family unit, the village, the community, and men being men. We can't just keep pointing the finger at women all the
Can't.
time. I'm one that, they could tell you I'll hold women accountable and they be coming back
Yes,
at me
Lord.
all the time. I do. But at the same time, I'll be the first one to say one of the best ways for a young man to be a man is to see a man.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Um,
So what could
Yes.
we do to reprogram our community?
well, one of the things I'm teaching my sons, and all the a lot of young brothers are barbershop and different things, places I go and different things.
Barbershop.
I teach them. I preach to healthy relationships. Before I got married, I honestly never had a healthy relationship, like
Mm.
like ever. Like, you know what I'm saying, like, it just wasn't a part of, because I was raised around dope boys, right? My dad was a great father, great relationship with him and my mom. I never paid attention to their relationship because I was, all of my homies that was outside, how many girls you can get, which one is the prettiest? You marry the prettiest one with the best body, and that's what you be her boyfriend. Like, you don't, and she crazy, you crazy, and you like. I'm just saying, you ain't like, you don't get a regular one. Like, you get the you get the baddest one you can find. That was the name of the game, right? So you don't learn how to, like, you don't learn how to have a good relationship, how to develop how to figure out if this person is really nice, right? What do you like? What do you need? And it. So what I started teaching my sons is, hey man, um, look at your mother, right? What makes your mother smile? What kind of person would you want to see your mom with, right? Like, what kind of like, I'm asking my son these kind of questions for a reason. Like, how do you want her to be treated? Now, yourself, what do you like? Are you an affectionate person? Do you like move? Like, what do you like? And then I try to tell them to be intentional. Don't like everybody. Like,
Yeah.
you can't like 15 people at the same time. Figure out, figure out, like, mentally, do you mix with this person? These are the things you need to figure out, and don't be so stuck on the exterior, because the exteriors, who told you that that's the best looking thing for you? Like, did the TV, did social media tell you that? You may, if you stop listening to everyone else, you may like short hair. You may like, you don't know what you like. You don't know what is, who are you? Like, who are you, DJ, my son? Like, so for to answer your question, young people need to realize they need to engage in healthy relationships that are just individual relationships, and then pick a young woman that get to know this young lady outside of money. Like, don't, like, when I first met my wife, I was making like $16.89 an hour with bad credit. She had really good credit and more money than me. I was like broke, right? And then she just happened to catch me on my way up to something. You don't know who's on their way up or who's on their way down. But what can you be to this person's life? You can catch them or build them, right? So, I tell young men all the time, she's fighting with you because she's for a reason, right? You got her pregnant. You got her phone number. You promised to be with her. She caught you cheating. Now, you can't get mad because she caught you cheating. Don't cheat no more. Just fix it, right? Like,
That's
it is what it
simple.
is. I'm just saying, like, it's like, I apologize, and what I mean, go on from it, or whatever. But it's really what we're missing is good relationships, healthy relationships. Because if you like a car, you keep the car, right? If you like the
Mhm.
restaurant, you keep going back to the restaurant, right?
Mhm.
Like the
Mhm.
person. If you like it enough, If you like it, you'll learn about it. You learn it, you'll love it, and that's just what it is. And that's what that's the advice that I try to tell young brothers. Like, don't. Because and I have a 5-year-old daughter now, so my perspective is changing because I have a 5-year-old daughter. She
Mhm.
changed my outlook on life. I'm like, oh my gosh, please, Jesus, whatever you do, sweet baby Jesus in the manger. Before you had a beard and facial hair, Jesus, little baby, little young boy, Jesus, help my daughter not to meet me.
Mm. Yes, Lord.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, Lord. But we're gonna get back to daughters in a minute.
Mm.
But Bella got time. We're gonna get to her in a minute. So my next question is, knowing all that you went through, and thankfully you were able to get married and have a second chance of getting it right, right? So my question for you is, both of you actually, what advice would you give someone who's considering marriage? And as what advice do you give yourself?
Wow. Powerful. Good question. Why? Why are you getting married again?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and don't make it about you. Like, make it about you. Like, know what you want. Know what you want, and make sure that what you want in life is what you want from her isn't selfish,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, don't be selfish,
You
like with your
can't.
want. Like,
Okay.
most people are selfish with our stuff. Like, we get married because we want stuff. And the one lesson I learned being married a second time is I didn't marry my mom.
Praise the Lord.
I didn't marry my dad's wife. I married my wife, and she's not my dad's wife. She ain't,
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever she is not the woman that the church made, like, told you this is 2024. Like, ain't nobody picking your drawers up off the floor and being quiet. They don't need your money. They got their own. They got their own money. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? So it's different now. So
Yeah.
yeah, like, find, like, and then get somebody that you want to, like. I realized through the trials of my coming on year 6, I could spend so much time complaining that I forget about making somebody happy, right? And a
Mm-hmm.
happy woman is a happy woman.
Mm-hmm. Period.
Now, how can you get her to be happy? Figure out what things make her happy, and then try to, ask God to help you to figure out what that language looks like.
Yeah.
And once I decided to, like, shut up and stop complaining to myself and speaking the words to the atmosphere, the devil
Mm-hmm.
stopped picking with me so much, and start, growth began to occur. But
Amen.
it just took that. But yeah, pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to ask that question again so I can absorb this.
The question was, what advice would you give someone considering marriage? And then I asked you specifically, what advice do you give yourself?
Okay. Someone that's considering marriage. I would say look at not just our community, but what exactly do you need as a man and a woman? Building our culture back, because I'm a cultural person. I'm into the culture. I'm into the village. I'm into building us back up to
Yeah.
where we're supposed to be. I think we got away from that. I think we got very selfish versus being selfless. Understanding that, the incarceration rate and the babies out of wedlock, and our children doing so terrible in schools, all of those different things. I believe that is, it comes from the breakdown of the family unit. I truly believe that. I believe that when we were in the 50s, 60s, part of the 70s, and you know, we did better before integration, before all of those different things. It's ill when you think about it that when we were going through slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, that we were better family units
Mhm.
going through more
Absolutely.
Mhm.
trauma
Yeah.
than we do now when we are more freer. You know, so what's the real issues? I think that we dealing with more selfish people. I think people go into marriage for the wrong reasons.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think that people go into relationships for the wrong reasons. I think we're
Mhm.
looking at, I think social media did a job on us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Everybody want to be millionaires. Everybody want the bag. And I'm so tired of the bag.
Yeah.
Please find this bag and do whatever with this bag you're going to do. Because all I hear is, "Ooh, I got to get to the bag. I got to get the bag," whether it's a man or a woman. They're always talking about this bag. Find this bag so we can get beyond this bag, and get back to culture, family.
So true.
What's
Amen.
important? Amen.
Yeah, the
Amen.
Absolutely.
things that we truly need. Because you can be a miserable millionaire. You can be a
Mm.
miserable
Yeah.
Absolutely.
millionaire. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Mhm.
I've seen plenty people struggling in the hood, but they're happy. You know,
Mhm.
they love each other. They love on each other. They're respectable. You know,
Absolutely.
all of those different things. And you say what I would tell myself.
What advice do you give yourself when considering marriage?
Mm, I can I remix it a little bit? What I would
Absolutely.
what I would tell
Mm.
my younger self.
Yes, go on.
What I would tell my younger self. Because I dealt with this um just in thought of what I could have done, what I could have sacrificed,
Yeah.
because I may have went through more not being not pushing through what I have dealt with. I may have went through more than I may have went through if I would have stayed in the situation that I was in. Because
Mm.
Wow.
I helped raise
Hmm.
other people's children. I
Mhm.
helped uh, take other people's kids to all types of camps and whatever, where I didn't have that direct interaction with my children. So what would have been the sacrifice to really really dig in to stay in the situation that I was in? And sometimes I think about it. I think about it and I say it probably wouldn't have been that. Maybe we could have got counseling. We could have, because we didn't do any of that. Like
Yeah.
that stigma,
Yeah.
in it. We didn't do any type of counseling. We listened to our friends and our family members and our this and our that, and you know, versus really getting to the root of the problem, or even getting out of that those situations that we were in. Maybe if we would have secluded, we would have put ourselves in a box and said, "Hey, we're gonna work this out." But
Absolutely.
what I would tell my younger self is, uh, your family is your family. Everybody else, that mother, that father, that grandmother, that grandfather, they raised their family already. This is
Mhm.
Mm.
yours.
Come
This
Hmm.
is
on.
yours. And you have to do what's best for your family. You
Absolutely.
know, not just what you think is best for you at the moment. Because what's best for you at
Mm.
the moment, you think that may not be the best for your children
Come on.
moving forward. I can endure a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a firefighter. I done been in that heat. Like
Mhm.
a lot of people say, you ain't a firefighter till you really feel that heat. I
The
done felt that
military.
heat.
Mhm.
I've been military.
Mhm.
I done been a lot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I didn't truly put forth the effort to save my family. And that sit with
Wow.
me sometime. That sit with me
Wow.
sometime because I can go to
Mhm.
fight for my country. I can go put fires out. I can
Mhm.
save people's life.
Wow.
I've saved a person. Um, just to give you a little clarity. being an EMT, because to be a fireman in the city of Patterson, you have to be an EMT as well. So I'm in an ambulance, and I responded to an overdose. I get to the car. Sky's blue, look like a Smurf. I swear to you. Narcan, got him back. BVM, breathing for him, got him back. Colors back, everything. We get him to the hospital. I'll open up the back doors. The guy, I'm ready to pull a guy back. The paramedic in the back says, say thank you to the guy that saved your life. This guy had every swastika tattoo that he could have had on his body.
Oh my.
He was a straight white supremacist. It
Mm.
was like, he said to me, he was like, I never thought that a black man, and my partner was Hispanic. I never thought that a black man and Hispanic man would save my life. He cried and he said, I promise you, he looked me in my face, he was crying. He said, I promise you that I will remove everything off my body.
My
I will
God.
never move forward with this agenda. So, but
My God.
my message to this is, I done been in the military, you know, to go overseas and help save lives over there. I've been I'm a firefighter. I got 5 rescues. A lot of people go through a whole career as a firefighter and don't save one person. I got 5 rescues. 8 people at one time on a Ferris wheel. As an EMT, saved several lives. One as a white supremacist. But I couldn't do what I needed to do to save my family.
Wow.
Well, if I can cut in, sometimes men have a habit of feeling unappreciated.
Absolutely.
And when it's your job, you get an appreciation from your job, a paycheck. Your paycheck, I'm just saying, your paycheck from your job, the look in someone's eyes, because they get to see you, and they get to see you one, and the incentive, and then you save someone in a fire. You went to school for that. The look in their eyes, they're following the instructions. They're letting you carry them to the ground. Like, you know what I'm saying, the thank yous, that wears thin when you're in the house and you don't hear thank you, and you don't. It's emotionally we're wired different to a certain degree, which is something
I agree.
why we don't hold on to relationships when we should, because the thank yous come from the outside and not from the inside. And if we
I believe that's a personal thing, because
that's a
all of
personal
us
thing.
are
It
different.
is. It's a personal
Us
thing.
dealing with our personal experiences.
Right.
What I would say, as far as me going into those burning buildings, because everybody ain't go, right? Everybody ain't go. That act is to go above and beyond. You have certain individuals that will go above and beyond. When you go to an FMBA award ceremony, there's hundreds of firefighters, but there's only tens of those who went above and beyond. There was a lot of firemen that were standing outside watching you go in to save that person. They like, I ain't going in there. Let Super Sean go in there.
Super Sean.
So,
SS. All right, come on.
So my point is, do we go above and beyond to save our families and our relationships? Sometimes I look back and I say, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't an above, and it ain't a thing of kicking yourself, or feeling some sort of way about it, because life is life. Life is gonna life regardless of how you feel. And it may work out worse. Right? It may be God's plan to say, man, if you would have went back and dealt with that, you probably wouldn't be the person that you are. But sometimes it's just the thought of, did you do as much as you can? It don't kill me, but it's just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thought.
Hmm.
Like my son, my oldest son, Dior. Yeah, I mean, we was on the phone today, and that's my guy. That's my guy. He hit me, I hit him, and actually, I booked Jamaica for him today. It was like, all right, I called him. I said, hey, did you get your email? He's like, what email, Dad? I ain't get no email. I said, I was in New York. I said, check your email right now. I think you should be getting an email right now. He was like, Jamaica, the 26th to the 30th? I said, yeah, that's your flight.
I
He's
know
like,
that.
oh, I'm going to Jamaica? I was like, yeah, you're good. I got you. Thanks,
Oh.
Dad. And I was like, so a lot of good things came out of it. It's just sometimes, you just think,
Have them thoughts.
What if?
yeah, but we're good. We're good. Lex, Cam. If you see Cam, you guys, I know you know who I'm talking to. Cam is probably 6'6", 6'5", 6'6". I'm 6'6", and he's still growing. Lex is an artist like myself, and it's funny because I look at my
Mhm.
children, you know, me being in the music industry at one point in time. Dior is a rapper now, you know.
Good.
Yeah. Me being as far as fashion. Cam is this big fashion guy now. He send me sunglasses all the time. Hey Dad, what you think about these sunglasses? And I'm like, they're good. Lex is a creative.
She is.
She's into art. She does nails. She already got her clientele all up. So there's a lot of good
Okay.
that came out of it. It's just sometimes you think, what if?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm good where I am. It's just sometimes you
Yeah, you wonder what if, yeah. The what ifs get you sometimes.
and
They
it's
can
for
get
them.
you.
And
It's for them more than me because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
endured more than
Absolutely.
because I can deal with it. My threshold for pain, like I said, I go on to burning buildings. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So my
Absolutely.
threshold for pain is,
Mm.
it's huge. But for my
Yeah.
children, I always thought,
Yeah. Yeah. Bernice, you have a question?
I do actually for the men. Um, anyone can answer, or both of you can answer. So, throughout your relationships, either in marriage, but specifically in marriage and or not marriage, how did you deal with infidelity? How did you deal with infidelity? How did you work it out? Did you not work it out, or was that was that the reason for the separation and or divorce?
Mm, wow.
Why very quiet?
I'm not married. I'm not married, but
um,
I'll answer. Thank God
You are
I've never
marriage or
dealt
not
with
marriage? Yeah.
yeah, I never dealt with that dynamic. Thank God. Because I see some people that actually go through it. I'll be the first to say it seemed like men really have a terrible time dealing with that than women. Women are so much more understanding, and that threshold is a whole lot uh larger than some of the men that I've seen go through that. I've seen some men uh, deal with, you know, another woman or two, and then they see their women go through it and they be ready to shoot the whole city up.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? But me, myself, I never dealt with that dynamic. Thank God. From because seeing some of the guys go through it.
Lucky you.
Yes,
yeah, for me,
I
I,
defer.
I ain't never got caught. No, I'm just kidding with you. No, no, I'm kidding
Don't
with
have
you.
us pull up to your house.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna call your
No,
mama.
no, I ain't never had to deal with it. I ain't never like been infidel. Like, what you mean by like, what is like doing a grown folk thing? You talking about with somebody else?
Yes. And you're in another relationship
Or
Um,
married.
or
Okay.
you're married.
Married,
Yeah.
I ain't never had that. I ain't never been. That ain't never had did. that wasn't
Or
even.
was it the female part in your relationship that was unfaithful to you? Was it the other way
No,
around?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't have been around. I'm just saying I would never. I ain't never had to bring that case to court. Like I never had came to court with that problem. Let me see. I,
Stop stuttering, Dane.
I ain't never like cheated. Like
Sir, sir.
Cheated.
Oh,
yeah,
I
like
put you guys in
like
the hot seat. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
like when you
What's
do
cheated?
that,
Cheated.
like, when you doing it, like when y'all be doing stuff and dating and stuff. I ain't never like cheated. Like I might have like, oh, this anyway. Yeah, that.
Okay, I think I can understand what he's saying.
Yeah, like it wasn't. Yeah, but that was
To the men.
So it was emotional. It was you're emotionally attached to someone.
wasn't emotionally. No, yeah, not at all.
Just
No.
conversing and whatever like that.
Yeah, probably been like a what's up or yeah, no attachment.
Mm.
I get it.
I ain't never did that. It wasn't. It wasn't.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, I never did that.
Mhm.
Yeah, not married.
Sounds
No.
suspicious to me, but okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm too.
Suspect.
Hold on, I heard.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Were you ever tempted to?
I mean, yeah. What do you mean? What man is it?
Man. Mhm.
What person
I'm-
is, and we're all alive.
Right. I just
So
it
what
costs too
made you
much.
not give into that
Cost too
feeling?
much, she just said.
Right.
Mhm.
For one, it
What
costs too
made
much.
you not?
It costs
It
too much.
costs
For
too
one,
much.
it costs too much. Number two, knowing some real stuff. I'm 45 years old at this point in my life. What is it for? What? Like what are we? What am I? What am I really getting out of it?
Yeah.
I can't do something and undo it. I don't know. I made God a promise that I'm not going to do that. She doesn't deserve the heartbreak that comes from the.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't done anything that cruel to me to deserve that.
My
I
God.
don't want to be. I don't want to be connected with this person forever. Like I don't know like there's too many layers to it.
Yeah.
Like as a musician, I think about everything. So it's like you got all these different elements to it. Like, and then I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
That's it
I don't.
right
I don't
there.
want to do. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'm angry with you, I don't want to do that. Like, cause I can't take it back.
Yeah.
I can't undo it.
Yeah. Right.
And sorry doesn't undo it. And I was, when I was in my 20s, I was a habitual cheater. Right. I was in my 20s.
Okay,
I'm not
now
gonna
it's
be
coming
40.
out. Mm-hmm.
I was before it was 20. It was like a long time ago. I was early 20s. I wasn't married in my 20s. I was like
Just
dating.
dating and stuff.
Yeah. But as a grown up, I'm not doing it. And I have two sons. I want to teach my sons how to be faithful men. Right. And
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna let the devil tell me how much he would. I'm not gonna keep being dumb. Like you ain't gonna take the same demon with you for your whole life. No, you gotta
Come
drop him off.
on. Mm-hmm.
So like I
Yeah.
dropped him off, and you ain't riding in my car no more. No, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No, and it costs too much. You got social media. You ain't doing all that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put you on the Facebook. We did. No, you ain't do what you're lying. Prove it. You ain't doing that to me. I'm
I'm gonna ask that question because believe it or not, grown folk, they're doing that. They're in marriages and they're cheating. So I was trying to see if I can get another insight on other men to
I know
see,
why they do it though. I know
yeah,
why.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like what insight can
Well,
you, since you have the
um,
mindset of a man, why would
yeah,
men cheat? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
lack of satisfaction. Lack of satisfaction. You don't get to. It's a lack. When you're lacking something, you get something. You get more of it, right? If my food isn't salty enough, what I do? Put more salt in it, right? Sometimes men cheat because some men are just never satisfied, right? Period. It's impossible to satisfy some men, and then
That
some men
lust.
they have lust, and then some men will cheat because they don't know how to express their lack of not being satisfied, right? Either it's mentally, emotionally, physically, you ain't satisfied, right? So you just like, so you need something as a need that you have. And what I mean, it's just every man is different. Every situation is different. A lot of times it's because you haven't let you holding in bitterness, right? You got
Mm.
somebody and you can't. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have a family and to feel trapped, like you don't have an out. Like everybody else is satisfied in your life, but you. So you need something to make you satisfied. I'm like, there's different layers to it. Like some men are like, you know what? I pay all these bills. I do all this stuff. Everybody gets what they want, but I'm unsatisfied.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
this is my happiness. To them, it's not even cheating. To them, it's them getting
What they want.
what they
They
want
want.
in life. Just something that makes them happy, right? So it's not even, yeah, everybody's different.
Wow.
Chris
Okay.
Rock, Chris Rock made a statement years ago. It was a quote that he said that a man is as faithful as his options.
Wow.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's big.
So just to add to this, a man with more options versus a man with lesser options, their conversations with each other is very, very different. Um, you have your popular basketball players, you have your popular this, that, and the third, and then you have the ones over here that don't get any play at all. Those
Mm-hmm.
two conversations is two totally different conversations. Their disciplines are different. It's easy for the unattractive, unnoticed, undesired to speak to the desired, popular, rich guy to say that, how dare you, when they don't deal with the temptations that that person actually deal with. I'm not siding with the temptations. What I'm saying is to understand what a person go through. I've seen a woman in a marriage. Recently, I read in a not just a post, but just for sake of argument. I read that there was a woman that was like 300 pounds, right, in a relationship. Um, she lost like 170, like 160, 170 pounds. Now she's 130 pounds, something like that. And she's getting all of this attention. All of these men are in her inbox telling her how beautiful she is, how this and how that, because now she's shapely because she went and got the skin removal uh, surgeries and all of these different things. And now she's getting the attention from the men that she want attention from, because we can get attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, getting attention from Flavor Flav and getting attention from Idris Elba is two totally different attentions.
I'm gonna need you to say that again.
Get
Mhm.
it? I mean, so she's starting to get attention from the men that she want attention from, and she leaves her husband who was with her the whole
Mm.
time when she was 300 pounds. I mean, that's the same grace, because I'm a firm believer in this, and they could tell you, I'm a men's advocate. I am as well as I deal with human behavior. I study human behavior. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the same as we give grace to one, we have to give grace to the other. We don't have to, but it's good that we do give grace to both.
Absolutely.
So a lot of women, they were saying, oh, well, maybe now the dudes in the inbox is giving her attention that her husband wasn't giving her. And I was like, cheating is cheating. Shut up. Like, we're not going to
Mm-hmm.
deal with that.
Right.
Mhm.
So that millionaire basketball player who looked like Flavor Flav, but he got millions and he pull up in that Bentley and he's getting all of this different attention because of this money. He never had attention a day in his life.
Mhm.
I mean, how do one expect him to deal with the temptation? Remember, I said temptation, not discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
discipline will probably come down the line once he got caught, a couple times, and then now you're in jeopardy of losing your family and your riches and you
Mhm.
know, your children and your wife. Now, I won't do it again. Should have did it in the first place, but now you want to deal with discipline. So I think discipline comes into play. A lot of men, you know, deal with that as far as what their options are. Because that's like, I've been the popular guy. I've been the basketball player. I've been the rapper in the hood. I've been all of these different things. And if you don't have discipline and value what you have to lose versus what this is over here,
That's it. Mhm.
you're going to lose every time. So you have to value what you have. You have to have discipline and respect and honor and integrity. All of those different things to say, I'm not going to jeopardize my family for some nonsense. Because
Right.
what I always tell people about the side chick and the side dude, I always tell them this. Yes, in those moments, it seems like it's a great time, right? Not saying us here, but those people over there, right? It's you're only meeting each other for a certain time, right? It's only a moment. It's only an hour or whatever. So all you have to do is be on your best behavior for 1 hour. That's it.
Mhm.
You ain't going through sicknesses. The kids got to go to school.
That's it.
The bills got to be paid. The car the tires need to be changed. You ain't going through all of those different
None of
things.
that.
All going through the moments of pleasure and what get us to this pleasure. That's it. You ain't going through any of those different things. So I always tell my guys, like, if you're gonna ever deal with that type of nonsense, don't get jaded by the impression stage of the side piece. Because if you was to ever leave your 80,
Mm.
right? If you was to ever leave your 80 and get with that 20 may be terrible. May be the worst thing ever because you never had to deal with her
What they're
in
mhm.
a real life circumstance. It's always just the moment of what we gonna get to. That's it.
Mhm.
Never had to deal with her for life situations, any of those different things. So
Mhm.
don't jeopardize your family. Don't jeopardize what you have, what you worked for. Don't jeopardize your character, your integrity for something that I'm not going to say might. It's not worth it at all. It's not worth it, especially if if you value yourself as a man, if your moral compass is supposed to be where it's supposed to be. It's not worth it. Focus on your family. Focus on your wife and your children, or your girlfriend and your children, or whatever you got in your state, whatever you got in your home. Focus on that.
Yeah.
Because that 20 minutes over there, that 30 minutes over there, that you're gonna
2
allow
minutes.
that. You're gonna allow that to jeopardize everything that you built and fought for.
I think it's also important to note that the lack of that Damon was speaking about, there may be lack, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming from the person that they're with. It's something that's lacking in them. And and
Inside of you.
Yeah.
when it's
Yeah.
like that, there's nothing a woman can do to get you to stay. There's nothing a man can do to get you to stay. You have to evaluate what's in you, and and those moments, because I looking about on myself. No, I've never been married, but I can say this with a surety. I'm pretty sure there's not one time I wasn't cheated on, right? Let's just call it spade a spade. And if I take those things personal, I would say, well, what didn't I do? What's wrong with me? How did I cause this? And I know for a fact that I didn't cause a thing, but because it happened once, twice, or however many times, or with that one husband, we automatically blame
Think it's blue.
ourselves,
Mhm.
automatically start to internalize, and then we break down what it is, our insecurities automatically. That's just what women do. You know,
I'm
but
gonna say real
I'm
quick.
gonna go on record to say that the whole cheating thing is always on you, no matter what somebody else does,
mm-hmm,
because you can always walk away.
mm-hmm.
Always
Right, you
say,
could,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's don't like there's families involved, there's children involved. Like, if let's say if it was me, like my mom, passed away, like, my mother would have been involved. Like my mother loved you. And then
Mm-hmm,
here you go,
mm-hmm.
on your nonsense. Now
Yeah.
we have to cook out. We have to cook out looking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
there's
if I can
more
say,
people involved. It's more to it than just you.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's selfish. It's selfish. It's ignorant. It lack morals and discipline. I'm gonna say it always begin, and end with you. Whatever contributed to it, speak your piece, brother. Speak your piece, whatever contributed to it. But you could have had a discipline when somebody threw that inbox,
Yep.
or, to
It's a
say,
choice, period.
yeah,
It's a
like,
choice.
no,
so,
you ain't gonna, sweetheart, you ain't gonna fix my problem with my wife.
Mm-mm.
right. If I can say, I'll say, I was going through a situation being married this time, bunch of situations, but we were separated for a little minute, and then I got my therapist. I met a Christian pastor. I was going through some stuff, and the Lord allowed me to meet this lady, and she said something to me. She was like, "Listen, your reaction is your responsibility."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Your reactions are your responsibility. God is not
Mhm.
holding you accountable for somebody else's initial response, but as a husband, as a man, your reactions are your responsibility." And she said, "You can't keep the reactions that positively um that what she said, you can't keep the reactions that satisfy your flesh."
Mm-hmm.
She said, because at that point, she said, how can you have fun on punishment?
Listen, wow.
And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, so
Mhm.
you want to go back to the fun, to your
Wow.
fun thing. Your fun thing is not, that's not, nah. This is about disciplining your flesh. You have to learn how to be a man and grow up past this at a certain point in your life. So grow up past it. Your reaction is your responsibility. I
Mm-hmm.
can't tell you how you're supposed to. I'm telling you that you need to let your flesh know that this is not who you are, and that you're not welcome, and that this reaction isn't welcome at this part of your life. You're not going to
Mhm.
flirt. You're not going to entertain. You're not going to wink. You're not going to wink or blink. You're going to
Listen.
close this door, and you will find a different reaction or a different response to this scenario, whatever it is. You're going to deal with it, and you'll find yourself thinking clearer. Let the enemy bring you something else. He shouldn't be able to bring you the same poison.
Mm-hmm.
For what? Because now, how can you heal if you keep causing more wounds? Or how is this going to heal your marriage? How is that going to heal your marriage? It may make you go okay, but your marriage won't be healed. And I was like, darn. But I was like, I might as well go ahead and just, no, you're not going to do that. Let's see where you at. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of just opened my eyes to a whole nother um, weakness of that will stay with your life. And
That's
again,
real.
it's just, yeah, it's real, right?
It is. It
That's
is.
real.
It
Don't
is.
cheat. Don't cheat. Go masturbate.
Ooh,
Well, that helped too at the moment.
that's another
Yeah, right.
conversation for another taping.
That'll help at that moment.
Yeah, but
It'll keep you away from next question.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. So you both have boys and you both have girls, right? Are there any differences between how you raised your sons versus your daughters?
100%. Absolutely.
How and why? Let's get into it.
Okay. My sons need to teach my sons how to be providers and protectors, to be leaders, to be motivators, to know how to be decision makers, like I said, and all of those different things. My daughters, they need to know how to nurture. They I spoil them, but I don't want them entitled. I need them to understand how to communicate with a man, how to be selfless. Because that spoiled and entitled thing, that keep a lot of people
Can't
from
deal with it.
yeah, it keep a lot of people from being in good relationships. Understanding from my daughter's understanding that cute and pretty ain't just gonna keep a man. It's
Yeah.
not going to be what keeps a man. I know that Kevin Samuels came in and winded some things up, but he had a lot of good things that he planted.
Okay.
As far as not just being pretty is going to keep a man, not just being pretty. If you want a certain type of man that's way up here, you have to understand they have a lot of options, right? They have a lot of options. A man that has a lot of options, it's a lot of competition that's going on over there. It don't have to be active competition, but it can be visual competition. It could be competition with one young woman that came to me and she was just asking me for advice. She's from the city. She don't live here no more. And she was somewhat a feminist. And she said to me, "Hey, I'm having issues with such and such and such." She made 6 figures in the whole thing. And I said, you're an attractive young girl. I wouldn't think that you had an issue with, getting a date or a man or somebody to take you serious. And she got to her feminist thing, and I was like, a bit aggressive, you know. The cure to masculinity is femininity. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, if you approach the situation a little more feminine, you'll get a bit more calm over on this side. Because
very true.
masculinity, who approach masculine, gets masculine.
Absolutely.
What you gonna trigger? But I guarantee you, as a masculine man, if you're feminine and you approach it, hey, think we need to have a conversation about such and such. I really like, you're gonna get a different reaction
Response.
versus I don't like the way you was talking. Like, why you gotta be talking to me like this? You ain't gonna get what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I coached her on what men, a certain type of man, maybe all men, how they would react to certain things in certain ways and certain dialogues and certain communications and certain this and certain that. And now she's engaged to a surgeon, a good man. Not, let me pull that back, not just a surgeon, but a good man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she was an attractive woman, but she led with her title, not just aggression, but her title and her money. I make 6 figures, so I should be able to get a man that makes. No, man. I always tell people, my lady, I never asked her how much she made. Never did. Don't know. Never asked how much she made. Because I'm okay. Whatever you bring to that table and do, we can create what we need to create. But as far as communication, and not just communication. I always tell people, everybody was, oh, communication is the key. Comprehension
Mm.
Mhm.
is the true key.
Absolutely.
You can communicate all you want.
Absolutely.
You can communicate all you
Listening.
want, but if we're not understanding each other, or we
Mm.
comprehend each other,
Mm-mm.
it's gonna be button heads all day long. I mean,
All
so
day long.
my daughters, like I just told Lex the other day, because I hear her mom, and I'm like, hey, Lex in the area, bring Lex to the house. I gotta, got something for Lex, my baby girl. And she didn't respond. And I told like once Lex hit me, I was like, hey, I hit you. Your mom didn't hit me back. And she's like, oh yeah, such and such. And I was like, understand something. I was like, your mom was busy. I said, but I want you to take, let's say if that was a negative thing, right? Let's say if it was an ignore. Treat everybody the same, from the CEO to the janitor.
Mhm.
Treat everybody the
Mhm.
same. I don't care who communicates with you.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure that you give them the respect to communicate back to them.
Mhm. Facts.
And she was like, oh, okay, Dad. Like, I get it. I said, because you're working in a working environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're in a working environment. You are a creative. She do her nail, like she already got her clientele. She got her nail situation going. Like Lex is just killing it. I mean, but at the same time, the same way that you want somebody to reach out to you and answer,
Mhm.
you want to reciprocate that respect.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Teach my daughters about respect, about
Mm-hmm.
honor, about
Yep.
integrity. When
Mhm.
I make sure for Valentine's Day, birthdays, Christmas, I gift my daughters.
That's nice.
I don't just, and this is just me. You can tell me if I'm over the top, but I gift my daughters in this way. When they come into the room, I create an area. Let's say if it's Valentine's Day, I create an area where, let's say if it's, I'll always have a theme. Let's say if it's jewelry, I go to, let's say, Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whatever, and get all the little body parts or
Bedazzles.
whatever, where it got like
Mhm.
necklaces. I buy a bunch of those and I put them all over the place, and I put their necklaces on it. I put their bracelets on, a little bracelet thing. So when they come in, they see,
Wow.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
a, they observe like a
That's
thing. If it's,
Mhm.
presentation.
yes, a presentation. Thank you.
Mm.
If there's a coat thing, I make sure that there's coat racks and this, that. So
Oh,
I
nice.
create a moment for them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I know for a fact, any man that come in their life,
Come on now, say that.
they ain't got a shot in hell
Mm-hmm. With the
for what their
nonsense.
daddy done
You set
presented.
that standard. Come on.
But what I also want for them is to not be spoiled
Yeah.
and entitled, to
Mhm.
respect it.
Mhm.
Respect
Mhm.
that I didn't have to do
Do
this.
this exactly.
Have so a man that brings anything to the table for you, just because you cute, don't mean that he
Mhm.
has to do this and do that and
Mm.
do that and do that. I just want you to understand that
Oh,
a man can't dangle a piece of fruit in front of you and think that they're gonna get whatever they want,
Yeah.
because
They already had the
mhm.
fruit. Yeah.
you've been
Mm-hmm.
there, seen that, or whatever. But to go back to answer the question full circle, my sons, I love to teach them life, um, to teach them morals and values, integrity, um, mannerisms. I like for them to be with me. Um, me being in Patterson and being a man in Patterson that I am, I may walk in certain rooms where people look at me a certain way. people may give me more prestige than they give the actual person. You know what I mean? So having them with me gives them confidence.
Yeah, for sure. For
You know,
sure.
to whereas when they walk in, it's like, "Oh, that's my dad." You know, so
Mhm.
it trickles down to them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
With my daughters is the same thing, but I want to teach them, you know, humility and, you know, understand the sacrifice that was created, or the sacrifice I went through to get them everything that they gotten, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that, you know, I ran in this burning building to get you this fur coat.
Mm.
So don't think that, you know, you're just a spoiled little brat, you know, because my children are spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
My children, you know, they get what they want, they go where they want to go, but they understand the sacrifices
Yeah.
that came along with it, and you know, all of those different things. I just want them to not be, I just don't want them to be entitled,
Mm-hmm.
and to
Mhm.
respect the other person. As far as, especially when they're dating, be open, have some humility, but respect. You know, honor yourself always. You know, like
Mhm.
Dior, I always tell him, um, I never want to hear, I know your girlfriend's name. I bet not ever hear another name, or we gonna have a conversation about that. Because
Mhm.
the same way that you know, you may creep out on this young girl, you want somebody creeping out on your sister.
Mm-hmm.
So treat that sister the same as you want somebody to treat your
Treat
sister.
yours. Mm-hmm.
That's
You
good.
want, you know, somebody, you know, treating your mama terrible? No. So I give them that, you know, have the respect that you want, the same as, you know, with my daughters.
Okay. Um, what what's the most important thing you've taught or will teach your daughters? Now, S, you just answered that question. Pretty much based, you know, with the other answer, with the other question. So Dame, I'm gonna ask you. Bella's only 5. You got a long way to go, brother. But what's the most important thing that you will teach her as being her father?
Love yourself. Like really love yourself. Not just like yourself,
Mhm,
but learn to love yourself.
mhm,
If you love yourself, you'll be cautious when it comes to yourself. You will be more mindful of everything that has to do with yourself, your heart, your um you won't just think for the moment, but you'll think for longevity.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to like yourself. Like yourself is for the moment, right? Just for the
Yeah,
time. I like these. I kind of like that. But when you love yourself, you're more protective over yourself. Um, and know that your dad is crazy. Know that your dad is crazy. Your dad is absolutely nuts. And yeah, nah, but and know that and you know, just love yourself and know that I love you so much that um nothing will ever make me not your father. So um
that's
just
good.
and just
Important.
and learn to love God
Mhm.
and develop your
Yeah.
own relationship with God, not based off of what I said it is, but learn God for yourself. Like develop a way to communicate with Him on your own. And you know, take the trash out every day. You know, the trash is like take the trash out every day. Like whatever was trash for today was trash for today. Take it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Today doesn't count once tomorrow gets here.
yeah.
You know, that's the
True.
best way. And please don't be no nasty. Don't be nasty.
Yeah.
Just don't be no nasty girl. Whatever you do, please just don't.
Okay.
Help me, Jesus.
Help him, Jesus. Help him, Jesus.
Please, sweet baby. I might have to call S on this one. I might have to call S when she get like 15 and help that calm me down.
Mhm. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, what you can do, I mean, S he's past the age of 5, with his daughter. So, just call him. He'll
Yeah, of course.
he'll
Yeah,
guide you
yeah.
through it. He'll guide
Yeah,
you
I
through it.
bet he. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a 23-year-old.
Sheesh. Yeah, man. But being a father is so dope, man. Like, yeah, but that's all. I often, find myself playing with my daughter now, and I'm like, man, like, what I mean? It's something I never thought I would ever enjoy having as a daughter, But daughters are like I'm her hero. So it's like she look at me and
Daddy could do
you
no
know,
wrong.
yeah, man, like no
If
matter
only
what,
she
like
knew.
yeah,
Nah,
All
my
right,
kids are
so
dope. Yeah, my kids are dope. I don't know.
yeah. So it's getting pretty late, but I have to get through to these last two questions because the last one is important, which is why how S got on board on this spaceship. Was prompted by the things I see him post and the conversations that I see him post and
Uh-oh.
so I have to ask that question. But before I do, one of the ladies had this question to ask, so I want to get her question in. Um, what do you think would be a solution for our young Black men and violence today?
I
jobs.
mean,
Or that's you probably know better.
uh, I would say, because I got an inbox from one of my sister friends today about her 23-year-old son, about mentorship. Um, so I think mentorship is big in our community. Um, Employment opportunities. We had, like I said, I'm the founder of 100 Professional Black Men in Patterson. And when we did the photo on the library steps, um, this February, we had a conversation afterwards in the library, and one of the follow-up conversations, one of the young men said, from the block, gang member, from the block, he said, the guys out there want to know how to make some money. Want to know how to make some money. So we can dilly and dabble all around, about how we feel and what we think. But what we wanted to do as men was go to them to see exactly what were their needs and what was, if we can get them as transparent as we can to tell us what is going on and what they need and what they want, and what's going on in the community. And a lot of it came back to just making money, being able to make money, excuse me, within the realm of their possibilities.
Mhm.
I can always say, you ask somebody to say, hey, the statement, what I always tell people, it's a good statement for kids, but the whole thing, oh, you can do anything you put your mind to, right? When somebody tell you that, tell people that you can do anything you put your mind to. And I was like, no, you can't. You should finish that statement. You can do anything you put your mind to within the realms of your possibilities. Because if you tell me that an 80-year-old woman can win a slam dunk contest in the NBA, you is out of your mind, no matter how much she put her mind to it. So it's a good teaching,
Mhm.
lesson for kids,
Mhm.
but it's within the realms of your possibilities.
Okay.
So when I went to talk to these young boys, a lot of it was about being able to put themselves into making some type of money. Now, what I mean by all of this is the realm of their possibilities. within the realm of their possibilities. Some of them have already pled guilty to something that wasn't even a major thing, but they may have had some weed on them and smoked some weed, and then somebody ran up on them and was like, hey, the cops ran up on them and grabbed the weed and was like, hey, I'm gonna get you for distribution. Wasn't even distribution, it was just recreational. But they say, okay, we're gonna get you for distribution, but if you plead guilty to a lesser charge, we'll let you go home. And 9 times out of 10, what happens?
Keep them.
They plead guilty.
Feel
Keep
good
'em.
too.
Guilty and take
It's
the
on their
lesser
record.
charge. But now you got a record, and you
Mhm.
can't be a fireman, you can't be a policeman, you can't be a truck, you can't drive buses, you can't be a postman, you can't get financial aid, you can't get
Mhm.
Section 8, you can't get welfare, you can't get any of those things because you just took yourself out of the
Mhm.
realms of
Equation.
possibility for all of those different things.
It's crazy.
So now what we're doing is, I got with my team and said, we're going to create not just a resource event, but an expungement event
That's
to
good.
start expunging these records that was unnecessarily placed on our young men. Not
Yeah.
saying that the guy that had 15 kilos of cocaine, not
Yeah.
that guy.
Mhm.
You was tripping. Talking about the young dude that was outside. He had a little joint, and they ran up on him and then gave him a distribution charge. So we're creating. I have my guys say, like, we're gonna create an expungement event, right? Along with that, I said within the same building, I want all felony-friendly companies. All
Mm.
felony-friendly companies. I want invitations sent to them to have them in this building. So not only do we have a lawyer that can help with expungement, we got felony-friendly companies. I
Okay.
want the military there. I want the trade schools there.
Mm-hmm.
I want the colleges there. So when these young people walk into this event, they can either choose military, college, trade schools. If they have felonies, there's felony-friendly companies that will help and hire them. And I told them I don't want them there just to take applications. I want interviews.
Yeah.
I want interviews there. But along with that, not just interviews, I need somebody there for resume teaching
Mm-hmm.
to teach these young men how to write a resume. Because you got a
Absolutely.
lot of our young men. There's a lot of our young men that don't have grooming that we think
Yeah.
that we think they know,
Yeah.
but they don't. They don't know how to write a resume.
Yeah.
Never taught.
My cousin Willie Peterkin had an event on tying ties.
Mm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a $3,000-4,000 Yves Saint Laurent suit upstairs with a bow tie that I don't even know how to tie.
Mm.
Gosh.
Mhm.
I can't even tie the tie. You know what I did? I went and bought me one of those clip-on dudes.
Don't know YSL you did it.
Yeah, I did.
What you had to do?
Yeah, I did. YSL. Boom. Satin lapels with a satin clip-on. Boom. They didn't think nothing of it. But we got a lot of our young men that don't know how to do these simple
Yeah.
life-changing things. And we think that
Yeah.
they're going
Mhm.
to change lives. So me creating this event that's coming up,
That's good.
it's going to actually help with the direct information that these young men gave us.
Mm-hmm.
Not what we think, Because we always do, like, it's like always, like I told my little sister one time, right? It was like, hey, I bought my boyfriend a sweater and he ain't like it for Christmas. And I was like, because you probably was in the store and you probably said, he may like this sweater. I'm gonna buy this sweater for Christmas. Put it in a box. Let me give it to him. Not thinking he's a big Giants fan. Get him some tickets to the Giants game. Don't stop giving people things that you
They
think they
don't want. Yes.
That's what you think that look good on him. They ain't what he want.
Not his style.
Yeah, get him what he want, not what you think he want. Just pay attention to him.
That's the
Just pay
word.
attention to them. If you pay attention to people, they'll tell you exactly what they want and what they need
Absolutely.
every time. But we're so much into us. So
Mm.
what I wanted my camp to do was pay attention to the young men in the community.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they do walkthroughs. They go through at 9 o'clock at night and walk through the community. And the young men be there already, and they say, "Hey, young man, what you need? What you think? What this and what that?" And they tell them. So we're trying to work with them directly. And the
That's
biggest thing
good.
that they threw at us was making money, jobs,
Mhm.
creating, you know, an environment where they'll be able to get off of the streets. Because how easy you think it is for somebody that's making $1,000 a week or $1 down, $500 a week to go. Now you want them to work at Checkers or McDonald's?
Yeah.
I'm making $500 a week. Now I'm making $700, whatever. Now I'm going to work part-time at McDonald's and bring home $150.
Yeah.
That ain't going to work.
It's not. It's
So
not.
we have to really give them some type of skill set.
For sure.
These young guys that's making this big money, teach them entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
how to buy
Mhm.
homes.
Mm.
Jay-Z was a drug dealer. Now he's a
It
billionaire.
was.
Why? Because he took that. Just imagine how skillful and how thoughtful and how mindful these drug dealers that run these neighborhoods. Just imagine how skillful and how mindful they got to be.
Mm-hmm. Very smart.
You got to know
Business.
how to schedule. You got to know how to put people in places. You got to know how to build a business. You
Run
got
the
to know,
business. Yeah.
yeah, all of these different things. They just mismanage it and put it in a wrong
In the
place.
wrong way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
A
But
lot of
they're
these
very
young
smart.
guys, yeah, a lot of these young guys, they ain't built, they ain't built for 25 to life. They ain't
No.
built
Mm.
for it.
Yeah.
They ain't built for it. So what they said to us, like I said, in conclusion, my apologies. They
That was
want
good.
they want resources. They want opportunities. They don't know where they are and how to get to them. So now I preach to my team, this is what we're going to do. We're going to meet them where they are. We're going to build this event or events and place it right in their face. So if you want to get off the street,
Yeah.
this is what,
They definitely need to know that there's, people in their corner that would definitely help. So
Yes.
I applaud and commend you for your efforts for sure. Wish, there were 10 million more like you,
Like
but
you.
Yeah.
one guy at a time. One guy at a time. So, I know it's getting late, but this is we have to get into this real quick. Just, we have to get into this. This is the reason So we have to get into this real quick. So S, like, like he said, many times that he's an advocate, and the things that he posed, sometimes my head just be like, phew, spinning and spinning. And then one day he posted this. It was a picture of I don't know if you may remember this. It was a picture of 50 Cent and his girlfriend, or whoever chick was. And you said, and I quote, femininity soothes the beast. Something
Yes.
along those lines. Remember that?
I touched on it on this broadcast.
You did. And I said, I wish he shut up because he's interfering in my last question. I did say that to myself. So my question,
rude.
to you guys, I mean, being seeing things on the internet and social media, and the way some of these women move, and I'm a woman, but I'm a woman, but I'm not one that just does the whole, a woman is right because she's a woman and I'm all for it. That's not how I roll, right? And so my question to you two is, how do you define feminine energy, and what does that look like for you? So when I looked up the word feminine, it reads having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women or girls.
So, feminine energy is not overly, like he spoke on it earlier, not being overly aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
understanding, being more of a nurturer than a dictator,
Mm-hmm.
and being a companion to whatever is needed. If your man is, if your man is, sensitive, then like it's your place to support him, like what I'm saying, vice versa, but not you ain't gotta be in charge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it means. Like you ain't gotta be in, and be somebody that, be someone that a man doesn't mind sharing his load with, knowing that he got a sounding board
Right.
versus that, you know, that bite your forehead off kind of individual.
Right.
So that's
I know there's a lot, biblically and stuff, with women being submissive. I also know that there are some men that take that out of context all the time. You know what I
definitely,
mean? And so for me, I think sometimes men think just because I'm submissive to you, that equates to you not having a voice, right?
That's not what it means.
No, but for some men, it's a possibility. For example, being that going back to slavery, there's a lot of times where, Black women, they jump the broom, and so they're married, right? They jump the broom. They have all these children, and then their man is taken away from them. And sometimes even their children, but mostly the men. So now they're taking care of these children on their own. And that has followed us from generation to generation to generation. And now we're at the point where these women, they have these children with these men, not necessarily married, some married, and then the ones that are not married, they're led to do every single thing by themselves, and then they get married and they don't know how to reel it back. Some women are married to men that don't know how to be leaders and step up and have a voice. So then they're still taking charge. So now they're in this place where now they have a man that knows how they're supposed to respond and their responsibilities. And sometimes it's hard for them to move past their past. And so therefore there's a lack of feminine energy,
Okay,
right?
I hear you.
And then you just have those that just think they don't, they just don't need a man, and you know, and that's why they're going for this bag that S was talking about, because there was no man to get the bag for them.
What is the bag though? And when does it stop?
The bag is,
Oh,
is a reference to money, to getting their money.
I got you, but nobody knows how much money they need or want. So
No, they don't. They don't. And some, and maybe they be maybe getting the bag for the rest of their lives. But who's this? I mean, I don't listen. I'm not an expert. I know my lane, but there's women that don't, and I feel bad for those women. And especially when they get a man who knows his place and his responsibilities, because they don't know
definitely.
how to shut it off sometimes. So, Mr. S, hit it.
Which part?
Any counseling.
Because you hit us with a bunch of stuff. You done hit us
Any
with
any part where you feel that you need to hit, because I know I did send you a post. Um, what's her name? Tika Sumpter, and she was watching this, looking at the same things we all look at about feminine energy, and then she asked her husband, and he told her, "I just need you to be who you are." And that was his response, and I thought that was the best response, because earlier you said, or Dame did, I think both of you said at some point, that feminine energy equates to masculine energy, and vice versa, meaning if you give me your feminine energy, then my response, like you said earlier, would be different, opposed to if you
could be.
could be different, as opposed to you coming at me rah-rah, right? And so to me, that would make, if my man is coming to me masculine with his masculinity, but and as a respectful way, then you automatically want to be feminine, automatically. But if you're not, and that's not what she's used to you not, or used to not having that around her, then automatically she has to feel like she has to match your masculinity just to get respect.
Well, I think you somewhat answering the question while you're making your statement. The one thing that I always say is, like, we were taught wrong. We were taught wrong. I always ask people, when you hear the statement, fight fire with fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? The one thing that I always say, I always feel that that's false. You fight fire with water.
Absolutely.
But we're taught to fight fire with fire, to match aggression with aggression. You ain't gonna talk to me the way you go, like, but that's not the way that you approach everything all the time. Like they
Right.
said, Will Smith wouldn't have smacked The Rock like that.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he smacked Chris Rock, he
Not at
wouldn't have done
all.
it. I mean, so sometimes we pick and choose. We understand.
Mm-hmm.
We understand,
Yep.
the logic and the theories. Is we move how we want to move.
Mm-hmm.
The whole feminine, masculine thing. I truly believe when you talk about femininity, it's a calm, it's a respect, it's a nurture, it's it's a rub on your shoulder, it's a rub on your head, it's a how you doing, how was your day? It's a way that you come across. It's the same way that you expect a man to handle things, you know, when things get abrasive. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm irate, I don't need you to be irate. I need you to de-escalate the situation and bring me down.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If there's dysfunction outside, you need me to be a man. You don't need me to run outside like, nah, bitch. No, it's not what you need. You need
Yeah.
a man to step in, like, hey, what's
Yeah.
going on here? What's the problem? You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got when you have and I explained to some of the people on the reverse of energy. You got Beyonce in a song telling people to suck her dick.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
really?
yeah, in a song, and people sing it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
There's
Mhm.
women that say that in arguments with men. You never heard that before?
Yeah,
that.
I've heard Erica Mena say it a couple times to a couple men.
Just imagine if your boyfriend was arguing with you and y'all going back and forth about the dishes or whatever, and eventually he tell you, well, you can eat mine.
I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you had one, buddy.
My point is,
What's happening now?
just saying, the ignorance
Crazy. Yeah,
and
craziness.
dysfunction
Yeah.
that we allow, that's so out of left field
Yeah.
when you're talking about femininity.
Yeah.
Now, as you see that I speak on these things.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
Very
because
often.
yes, I do, because I believe that femininity in our community is dwindling down,
Absolutely. It is.
dwindling down. And instead of people being real about it, they attack the person that's trying to have the conversation, which, I don't have a problem with that. You bring it.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm good. I mean, we can have all types of dialogue. You already know I'm ready. I got quotes
Mhm.
for days. I got it. I'm good. I'm ready.
Statistics, right?
I got,
Mhm.
well, I'm researched. I'm researched. But at the
Yeah.
same time, we have to be real with each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, femininity is what I said. Femininity is the cure to that overly masculine nonsense.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you ever seen when a feminine woman comes into a masculine situation and calm it down.
Hmm. Oh
And it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
yes,
Hmm.
I think that when more women, see how that happens and what that does and the
Yeah.
way that it works, they will understand it. The
Yeah.
same as young men need to see masculine mannerisms, respectful,
Hmm.
honorable,
Yeah.
good integrity and character.
Hmm.
You know, knowing how to walk into a room and shake a man's hand, look him in his eyes, you know, knowing how to sit with your back to the wall, versus the door,
Yeah.
Mhm.
knowing how to make sure if you're going to allow your woman to walk through a door, you make sure you step halfway in that door, make sure ain't nothing going on the opposite side of that door, then you allow her to walk in. We was
Mhm.
taught to open the door and let your woman walk in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't open the door, let your woman walk in, and they fighting in the damn door in a room, and now your woman get punched in the face.
Yeah.
No, I teach mine to take a step into the door, take a look, make sure, and then you allow her to walk through.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so the
That's
certain
good.
mannerisms that we teach young men,
Don't
some
even
things
teach
are
that anymore.
outdated. Some things are outdated.
Yeah.
Facts.
Some things are outdated. Some things are not respected. Some young men don't respect men that's not in a respectable position.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell
Mm.
me
Yeah.
what I should be doing?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know? So if you ain't in a place of success and prestige, how are you gonna tell me anything?
Mm.
Fact.
Because they looking for, that prestige. They looking for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If you look at the picture of the 100 professional black men that we just did on the library steps, you can see those men. So when we went into the library after that, and all of the men, the Benji Wimberly, you know, the different men, like, you know, the council people, you know, the assembly people, you know, the pastors, and, you know, men that have these titles that they'll respect. That don't mean that you're the greatest men in the world, but at least they have the titles to where they feel,
Yeah,
you know, because I know a lot of people that's more respectable than this person with a title.
absolutely.
You know, you got people that say, oh, I'm a college graduate. Yeah, you got a degree in criminal justice, or you got a degree in whatever, whatever. You know, it ain't STEM. I respect it, but some people put that on their, you know, on
Yeah.
their resume, like they want to pump their chests out or whatever. And it's like, just because you have a title doesn't mean that it's of prestige of somebody who may
Absolutely.
not have the same title. I respect it all. No disrespect to nobody. I
Mhm.
mean, so these, you know, these young men, you know, it had came to a place to whereas, you know, so it's since it's tough out here, I'm for the fight. You already know, you see the fight, you see me fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may throw out there about accountability with men and women and all of these different things, but it's
It's necessary. It's necessary.
it's from a good place. It's not from malice.
Of course.
It's not from malice. And that's what a lot of people had to understand. Because I never faltered on that. I doubled down on it. Like, well, you
Yeah.
want to fight? Let's fight.
Yeah.
I ain't no punk. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
But I can articulate, you know, and I can give you I can skillfully give you this analysis in a way that you'll get it and it'll be funny, or you'll you'll it'll be like, oh, he ain't mean nothing by it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need a skill to get some things across
You
so
do.
people don't get offended, they don't feel
People are
away.
super sensitive these days.
Absolutely.
Super sensitive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It gets to a point to where sometimes I look at one of my boys like, oh, why you say that? They may not know how to come across,
Yeah.
to point across, you know,
Yeah.
so mhm.
I think so. To conclude this episode, you know, we've covered um some great topics that include the
Just
majority
imagine
of
if
the
you had
world.
just imagine if you had all four of us on here.
Oh, wow.
I know. Yeah.
I think that would have been an awesome episode. I really, I
Would've
really, I really do.
We can do a
would've
part
went to
two.
like 2 o'clock in the morning.
You probably, I mean,
Yes.
game would have to be on time. But that's a whole nother story.
We could
Um,
do a part two.
we could. I mean, we're gonna like I said, just like the millennials, this is gonna be um you know, a section that we keep going. I don't know, you know, if it's gonna be the same men, but you know, because men need to have a voice too, and people need to know that there
Absolutely.
are women out there
Men
that
need to have a
that back
voice
them up and that
too.
support them. So, you know, this is that platform for sure. But I think also that a lot of our issues is because, you know, God was taken out of most of all these equations. You know,
Exactly.
people they hook up, they get married to this person, that person. There's no more counseling that's being done. Let's not forget the required lab test that was done before you got married. That was taken out. You know, they took God out of our schools. They're taking God out of everything. And so once you take God out of everything, this is the result of it. There's chaos, there's calamity,
Shame,
femininity is going to the masculine men, masculinity is going to the feminine men, women. It's just a bunch of mess. So
shame as well. Shame as well. They took
shame
in
as well too.
shame has been taken out of our community. When we were younger and you got pregnant, what was the
Yeah,
conversation?
yeah.
If
They
you went
shift you behind north or they shift you
yeah,
behind south. Now
if
they
you
give
went
you
to
now they give
jail,
you a whole baby
yeah,
shower.
If you went to jail, what they say? You was in the
Mhm.
army, you went to
Yep.
you went to college.
Yep.
Now you get a party. Know what I mean,
Yeah.
so things that we used to be ashamed of, we celebrate now.
We
Celebrate
do.
it. Mhm.
We do. And it's sad. And it's sad. Um, so with that being said, I thank everyone for joining this episode. I pray that you get something out of it. And remember don't forget to, do your comments, your thumbs, bells, all that good stuff. And until next time,
Yeah. Have
pray
them
that
like Sean give your email address or websites of those foundations, and Dame, go ahead and shout out your insurance information since you're an insurance broker, right? So all those that are interested, they can take advantage of these services that you guys offer. And then we can go.
Okay, I'll shoot mine out real quick. Like I said, I'm the director of the Bronze Heat, which is the Paterson, New Jersey chapter of the International Association of Black Professional Firefighters. You can go on Facebook, Instagram to inbox us for any information on. We do a lot of work as far as teaching for civil service test prep. If you want to be a firefighter, in the city of Paterson and beyond, we give classes. Um, we give mentorship, anything like that. So you can reach us there. Um, I'm the vice president also of the Juneteenth committee. The Juneteenth committee is something that committee that put together events throughout the course of the year. But the biggest is the Juneteenth committee for Juneteenth every year. Anybody that want to collaborate, come out. You speak poems, if you sing, if you're creative, anything, you're welcome to come out. And I'm one of the co-hosts of Candid Conversations. You can log in, subscribe, like, share. We're on every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We touch on different topics, so you're welcome to come and dial in as you like. I appreciate you guys. This was awesome. Appreciate it. Good dialogue. If you ever need me again, if you ever need me to chime in, you already know. Shoot the text.
Thanks for
for
coming.
sure,
Appreciate it.
for
We
sure.
appreciate it.
Well, if you need, I am a life insurance broker. If you guys are looking for information, you can always go to, if you're on Facebook, you can go to D Wilkes Life Benefits. That's DW. I'm sorry, wait, I'm tripping. Go to D Wilkes Life Insurance. Just type it in on your Facebook browser, or Damon Wilkerson Life Insurance. It'll pull up my business page. You'll see all of my website information on there. That's my occupation. And if you're looking to find me on Instagram or social media, my Instagram handle is just Dame215. I have most of my music and everything, but my booking dates and all of that. You can, follow me there, and you'll see where my performance is and where I'm going to be at. And yeah, I have music that's on Amazon, iTunes, and yeah. So that's pretty much it.
That's what's up.
But thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate being a part of the panel, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Awesome. We're glad to have you guys. It's been very informative night. For sure. Very, very, very informative. And we appreciate you guys coming.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, we do. In part 2,
Absolutely.
future.
And Lizette, get a new hat.
I'm recording, so hi.